First of all, can you guys introduce yourselves?
Sure. We're CytoFoundry, and our device is a better way of genetically engineering cells than what's currently on the market, which allows us to manufacture cures for diseases that no one else can make.
Yeah, and I'm Vikram, and
Yeah.
this is George, and we're the founders.
What years are you in? What are you studying?
So I'm a junior. I'm in the Life Sciences and Management program. I'm studying healthcare management in Wharton and mechanisms of disease in the college.
And I'm a junior in M&T. I'm studying mechanical engineering in engineering and operations in Wharton.
And can you talk a little bit more about your startup?
Sure.
Yeah, so our startup essentially works to solve a problem that we see today in manufacturing, something called cell therapies. This is basically what happens when you can take your own body's cells and then genetically engineer them to be able to cure a disease. There's a lot of problems in terms of the ability to genetically engineer these cells that we're seeing right now. You can think of it as the limitations in the number of lines of biological code you can get in. We're developing our platform to be able to fix that problem to make cells that are more capable at a cost that's a lot more affordable for the everyday consumer.
And what inspired you to start this company?
Yeah, well, we saw the first FDA-approved cell therapies come out of Penn, and we were really excited because people were actually being cured of their cancer. But then we also saw how expensive it was, prohibitively so, and we thought that there must be a better way to do this. So we started looking at new ways of genetically engineering the cells, and we came up with a new technology that would be able to, like Vikram was saying, have no limit on the amount of lines of code you can put in, as opposed to the limit of about 4 lines of code that currently exists.
Awesome. And what was one of the biggest challenges you faced as a student entrepreneur?
I think as students, one of the big problems that you're always going to face is time. Because startups are a full-time job, school's a full-time job, trying to coordinate both and getting things to move as fast as they should. But I think that it'll be possible to, in the early stages, find the sort of balance that you need to make that happen. But I think that's definitely something any student entrepreneur needs to be prepared for, the sort of time constraints that'll be put on them.
And what specific challenges are faced in your chosen industry?
Yeah, I mean, biotech is always capital heavy. And that's one of the things that we've been running into, just raising enough money to not only conduct our technical development, but even just to buy the equipment that we need to test it and fabricate our device and everything like that. And I think with biotech, that presents a barrier to entry that other industries don't necessarily have.
And the thing is, you can always find ways to sort of work around this, right? So the nice thing about resource constraints, we have to look for creative ways to solve these problems. And what we found is that there are technologies that have been developed in the past few years, actually, that help massively speed up the prototyping process while cutting a lot of the costs associated with that. And, in any of these capital-intensive and heavy fields, I think that anyone resourceful enough will find ways to get it done with the capital they have.
Awesome. What resources have you utilized at Penn, and specifically the Wise Tech House, that have helped you along your journey?
Yeah, so we were part of Weiss Labs over the last summer, and we were also Penn in second place. I think that Penn has a lot of great mentorship and advice, as well as financial resources in terms of some of the money we got from these competitions. I think that Penn has supported us in numerous ways. Weiss Tech as well with Weiss Labs. I guess that's the main thing I could say. If you have anything else, like there's the resources, the monetary resources, and mentorship.
And the mentorship's been great, yeah.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit more about the accomplishments that you've had, like funding, like you said, and winning competitions and things like that?
Yeah, so we started essentially a year ago, in November, when we got the idea and decided to pitch it as part of the Y Prize. And then after we were finalists in the Y Prize in January, we continued with the technology. In April, we won second place at Penvention. And since then, we've just been doing a lot of technical work. We filed for one provisional patent already. We're working on filing a number of other patents. We have a new exciting funding source we're not allowed to talk about right now, but it's really exciting. We're making a lot of great progress, and we're super excited by that.
Yeah, we've also gotten a little bit of money from Penn Wharton Innovation Fund and some other resources like that.
Awesome. And if there's one thing that you would redo, what would it be?
Yeah, I think the big one we'd redo is make sure that you're approaching the problem the right way. I think a mistake a lot of people make, us included, was that we got so attached to sort of the exact configuration of the solution that we were developing, right, instead of the problem that we were trying to solve. And when you get more attached to the solution and the problem, that limits you from having the flexibility you need to just iterate and develop and change approaches if it turns out what you're doing is not working. And I think we wasted a lot of time actually getting stuck on the path that wasn't the right path for us. So, just what we would do and what we advise to everyone in general, be more attached to the problem than the solution, and be willing to iterate and get rid of bad ideas sooner.
Awesome. Do you have any other advice that you would like to give to aspiring entrepreneurs?
Just start. Like, don't be an aspiring entrepreneur. Be an entrepreneur, and make the mistakes you need to learn. You learn best by doing. So instead of thinking about starting a company, just go for it.
Yeah, I think we've learned a lot more about our market and everything after like 2 customer interviews than however long we spent reading through market research reports and the like. So if you just get out and start talking to people and start building the thing and launch it and iterate, you'll learn a lot more and do a lot faster than if you read people's blogs.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think is the most important skill that an entrepreneur should have?
I think combination of persistence and flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be persistent enough that even when people tell you it can't work, or even you're telling yourself that you're doing the wrong thing, just to keep pushing forward.
Mm-hmm.
But also flexibility, so that if you're not pushing forward at something that doesn't work, and it doesn't work, and you still keep going for it, that's obviously bad as well.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And one last question. Who's one entrepreneur that you look up to and why?
Want to go?
Sure. For me, I've always admired Edison. Yeah, he was a bit of a controversial guy, but I think it's undeniable that he invented the concept of corporate R&D. The work that he did to, build a company, which eventually became General Electric, I guess, that has a corporate research lab that's able to take innovations and develop them into commercial products and make money off of it. That was really the basis for a lot of modern corporate R&D. And I think we see the impact of the type of work that he did when building his sort of empire in Bell Labs, for example, another corporate R&D research group that invented the transistor and the C programming language. So I always felt that Edison was someone that played a very outsized role in entrepreneurship and innovation.
And for me, it would be John Rockefeller, because at the time your social standing was everything, and he had none. But he was still able to push forward and get meetings with customers and build his company when he wasn't supposed to, and that was amazing. I think he had just the right combination of both persistence and flexibility to iterate his business model to be the best out there at selling oil, and also be able to take on an industry that he wasn't supposed to be in.
Great. Thank you guys so much, and that concludes our interview.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.